Have you ever wondered what secrets lie within the smallest units of life, our cells? In the vast universe of the human body, cells are the microscopic stars that make life possible. They're the building blocks of all living things, from the tiniest bacteria to the towering sequoia tree, to us humans. In the realm of biology, cells are the smallest unit of life that can replicate independently. Think of them as the fundamental bricks that construct the intricate edifice of life. Each cell is a universe unto itself, bustling with molecular machinery and chemical reactions that enable life as we know it. The discovery of cells and their inner workings is a tale that dates back centuries. In the mid-17th century, Robert Hooke, using a rudimentary microscope, was the first to describe cells. He observed a thin slice of cork and noticed tiny, box-like structures, which he named cells. However, it wasn't until the 19th century that scientists like Schwann, Schleiden, and Virchow established that these cells were indeed the fundamental units of life, birthing the cell theory. Cell theory is a cornerstone of biology, stating that all living organisms are composed of cells, that the cell is the basic unit of life, and that all cells arise from pre-existing cells. It's a simple yet profound concept that has shaped our understanding of life and its complexities. These tiny powerhouses are more than just microscopic blobs. They're complex, dynamic entities filled with a variety of structures or organelles, each with a specific job to do. Just like a bustling city, cells have power plants, factories, transport systems, and even recycling centers. All these components work in harmony to keep the cell, and by extension, the organism, alive and functioning. In the grand scheme of life, understanding cells and their inner workings is like holding a magnifying glass to the fundamental processes that drive life. It's a journey into the very heart of life itself. So the journey inside a cell is like an exploration of a tiny, bustling city, full of life and activity. Well, what if I told you that every cell holds a blueprint for life itself? Imagine a construction site where the builders follow a detailed plan to erect a towering skyscraper. Now let's zoom into the microcosmic world of the cell, where a similar process is underway. Only the blueprint is DNA, the builders are enzymes, and the skyscraper is you. Now, DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is a long molecule that carries the specific instructions that make you, well, you. This molecule is a double helix, like a twisted ladder, with sides made of sugars and phosphates, and rungs made of pairs of 4 types of nitrogen bases: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. It's the sequence of these bases that encodes the instructions for building and maintaining an organism. So, how are these instructions read? Enter RNA, or ribonucleic acid, a close cousin of DNA. In a process called transcription, an enzyme called RNA polymerase travels along the DNA, reading its sequence and creating a complementary RNA molecule. This RNA, now holding a copy of the DNA's instructions, then heads to the cell's protein factories, the ribosomes. Here, in a process called translation, the RNA is read by the ribosome and translated into a sequence of amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. These proteins then go on to perform a myriad of functions in our bodies, from speeding up chemical reactions as enzymes to providing structure as part of our muscles and skin. But the story doesn't end there. Not all DNA is transcribed and translated all the time. The cell regulates which genes are expressed, and when in response to various signals. This gene regulation allows cells to adapt to their environment, differentiate into various cell types, and even fight off diseases. Thus, it's the DNA that holds the instruction manual for all life forms. Just like a blueprint guides the construction of a skyscraper, DNA guides the construction of life, from the simplest bacteria to the most complex multicellular organisms. The beauty of life in all its diversity and complexity is encoded in these microscopic blueprints. Remarkable, isn't it? Did you know that a complex network of chemical reactions is happening inside each cell at this very moment? Just like a bustling city, a cell is alive with ceaseless activity. This dynamism is made possible by a series of metabolic pathways, a sequence of chemical reactions, each building upon the last, to transform molecules into life-sustaining substances. Metabolic pathways are the cell's highways, ferrying molecules from one reaction to the next. They are regulated meticulously, much like a traffic control system, to ensure smooth flow and prevent congestion. This regulation is typically achieved through feedback inhibition, a process akin to a thermostat controlling the temperature in your home. When a reaction produces enough of a certain substance, it feeds back to halt the process, ensuring a balance is maintained. Now imagine these reactions as a series of doors, each needing a key to open. In the realm of cellular chemistry, enzymes are these keys. They are proteins that facilitate biochemical reactions, lowering the energy barrier and speeding up the process. Without enzymes, these reactions would occur at a snail's pace, not nearly fast enough to sustain life. But what happens when a cell needs to fine-tune these reactions, to adjust the speed or even change the direction? Enter allosteric regulation, a process where a molecule binds to an enzyme at a site other than the active site. This binding changes the enzyme's shape, either enhancing or inhibiting its function. Picture turning a dial to adjust the volume of your radio, and you'll get the idea. So, within the confines of a microscopic cell, a complex dance of chemical reactions unfolds. Metabolic pathways, enzymes, feedback inhibition, allosteric regulation. These are not just abstract concepts, but the real, tangible mechanisms that keep the cell alive. They are the silent conductors orchestrating the symphony of life at the most fundamental level. These intricate chemical reactions keep the cell, and thus life, functioning. It's a reminder that even in the smallest corners of existence, there's a world of complexity and beauty waiting to be discovered. Cells aren't just solitary entities, they communicate and cooperate, but how? Let's dive into the fascinating world of cellular communication. Imagine cells as tiny citizens of a bustling city, the body. They don't live in isolation, but instead, they talk, listen, and respond to their neighbors. This community network is vital for our bodies to function harmoniously. So, how do cells talk to each other? Through a process called signal transduction. This is like the cellular version of a game of telephone. But instead of whispering secrets into each other's ears, cells send biochemical messages. The conversation starts with a signaling molecule, a sort of chemical word that carries a specific message. This molecule doesn't enter the cell. Instead, it binds to a receptor on the cell's surface, like a key fitting into a lock. This interaction triggers changes in the receptor's shape, sparking off a chain reaction inside the cell. This chain reaction or signal transduction pathway involves a series of proteins. Each protein modifies the next in the chain, passing the message along until it reaches its final destination. These destinations are often in the cell's nucleus, where the message can influence the cell's behavior by altering gene expression. The beauty of this system is its precision. Only specific signaling molecules can bind to specific receptors, ensuring that messages are delivered accurately. And because each step in the chain can amplify the signal, even a single molecule can have a big impact. This cellular communication is vital for coordinating a multitude of processes in our bodies. It's how cells know when to grow, divide, or even die. It's how our bodies respond to hormones, regulate our metabolism, and heal wounds. But what happens when this communication breaks down? Well, if cells can't talk to each other properly, it can lead to diseases like cancer or diabetes. Understanding cellular communication is therefore crucial for developing treatments for these conditions. Just like humans, cells communicate and respond to each other to function harmoniously. Understanding this biological dialogue is not only fascinating, but also a cornerstone in our quest to conquer diseases and unlock the secrets of life itself. Cells aren't static. They adapt and differentiate, but what does that mean? Let's dive into the fascinating world of cellular adaptation and differentiation. Imagine you're at a party. The music is loud, the lights are flashing, and you can barely hear your own thoughts. What do? You adapt. You might move to a quieter corner, or perhaps you'll adjust your voice to be heard over the music. Cells, in their own way, do something similar. They adapt to changes in their environment, whether it's a change in temperature, pH level, or nutrient availability. This adaptive capability allows cells to survive and function optimally in a variety of conditions. It's like having a built-in survival kit. Now, let's talk differentiation. It's a bit like having a job in a large corporation. Not everyone does the same thing. Some people are responsible for crunching numbers, others for making sales, and some might even be in charge of keeping the office plants alive. In a similar way, cells differentiate, becoming specialized to perform certain functions. This is particularly important in multicellular organisms, where you have a plethora of different cell types, each with their own distinct roles. Take a human body, for instance. It's made up of trillions of cells, but they're not all the same. There are nerve cells, muscle cells, blood cells, and many others. Each of these cell types originated from a single fertilized egg cell that divided and differentiated into the diverse cell population we see in a fully grown human. This process of cellular differentiation is guided by the cell's DNA, which acts like a blueprint, instructing the cell on what type it should become. So, when we talk about cells adapting and differentiating, we're talking about how cells respond to their environment and how they become specialized to perform specific tasks. It's a complex, dynamic process that's integral to life as we know it, and there you have it. Cells are not just tiny blobs of protoplasm. They're versatile, dynamic, and industrious, constantly adapting and differentiating to keep organisms alive and thriving. So, cells are quite versatile, adapting and differentiating to keep organisms thriving. How do scientists unravel the mysteries of cells? It's thanks to the tools of the trade. Let's delve into some of these remarkable tools that have made cellular biology what it is today. First off, we have microscopy. This is not the same microscope you might have used in your high school biology class. We're talking about cutting-edge microscopes that can visualize cells and their components in astonishing detail. Light microscopes, electron microscopes, and fluorescence microscopes. Each has its unique way of illuminating the microscopic world of cells. They can magnify cells up to 1,000 times or more, giving us a ticket to the otherwise invisible cellular world. Next, we have imaging technologies. Imagine being able to take a snapshot of a cell's activity at any given moment. That's what imaging technologies enable us to do. Techniques like X-ray crystallography, magnetic resonance imaging, and computerized tomography, or CT scans, give us the ability to visualize cells in 3 dimensions and even capture their activities in real time. But that's not all. We also have molecular biology techniques that enable us to manipulate and analyze the genetic material of cells. One such technique is polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. PCR is like a photocopier for DNA. It allows scientists to make millions of copies of a specific DNA sequence in just a few hours. This is crucial in many areas of biology, including genetic engineering, forensics, and diagnosing diseases. Another essential tool is electrophoresis. This technique helps separate DNA, RNA, or protein molecules based on their size and charge. It's like a racetrack for molecules. This tool is invaluable in genetic research, allowing scientists to identify genetic variations and mutations. These tools, and many others, are the backbone of cellular biology. They allow scientists to explore the complexities of cells, understand their functions, and uncover their secrets. Each new technological advancement opens up new possibilities and brings us one step closer to fully understanding the intricate world of cells. With these tools, scientists are peeling back the layers of mystery surrounding cells. So what's next in the world of cellular biology, I hear you ask? Well, the frontier of cellular biology is a vast and exciting one, teeming with promise and potential. Scientists are currently pushing the boundaries of what we thought we knew, uncovering new secrets and achieving breakthroughs that could reshape our view of life itself. One of the key areas of research is in the field of stem cells. These are cells with the ability to develop into many different types of cells in the body. They hold enormous potential for treating a variety of diseases and conditions. Imagine being able to grow new healthy cells to replace those damaged by illness or injury. That's the power and promise of stem cell research. On another front, researchers are making strides in understanding the complex language of cells. We've known for a while that cells communicate with each other, but decoding that communication is a monumental task. This could open the door to new therapies that harness the body's own cellular networks to fight disease. Then there's the burgeoning field of synthetic biology, where scientists are designing and constructing new biological parts, devices, and systems. Picture this: custom-designed cells, built from the ground up to perform specific tasks, like identifying and destroying cancer cells, or producing biofuels. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not too far off from becoming a reality. And let's not forget about the human microbiome, the vast collection of microbes that live in and on our bodies. Understanding how these microscopic organisms interact with our cells could lead to breakthroughs in everything from treating disease to improving mental health. So you see, the future of cellular biology isn't just about understanding life at its most basic level. It's about using that knowledge to improve the quality of life for all of us. Every discovery, every breakthrough brings us one step closer to that goal. The future of cellular biology holds exciting possibilities for our understanding of life and disease. And we've only just scratched the surface, so stay curious, keep exploring, and who knows, you could be part of the next big breakthrough. So, we've taken quite a journey through the world of cells today. We started by delving into the secret life of cells, exploring the crucial role they play in the grand tapestry of life. We then unraveled the blueprint of life, the chemical reactions that occur within these microscopic powerhouses, and the complex language they use to communicate. We also discussed how cells adapt to their environment and the fascinating process of cellular differentiation. We then ventured into the tools of the trade, the advanced techniques and technologies that allow us to study cells in intimate detail. And finally, we looked ahead to the future, to the cutting-edge research and potential breakthroughs on the horizon. But remember, all of these intricate mechanisms and processes serve a greater purpose. They help us understand life and provide the basis for treating diseases. As we continue to unlock the secrets of cells, we are also unlocking the mysteries of life itself.